to see who has a heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
This is a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. You got it!
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Real estate real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hey, this is Charles Morrison, varsity baseball coach with Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Good Saturday morning, and welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're located here at Applebee's here in Athens, Alabama, located on Highway 72 West and I-65 right on the corner. Can't miss us. Beautiful day for football. It's the third Saturday of October, the day that Tennessee goes down, typically, for the last 20-some-odd years till last year. But anyway, on to another story.
Yeah,
but,
it's like Peyton Manning said. He said something about we've got we're unbeaten since 2022.
There we go.
He said, I don't even remember the last time Alabama won.
Well, I hope he doesn't remember again for another long time. But, going back to that, I am Todd the Bod, the Talent Tomlin, and I'm joined today by Tim Lambert, producer extraordinaire. Without him, this awesome show, and your only show for local high school sports here in North Alabama that you should be listening to, and the best show, is brought to you by him each and every week. He books all these wonderful guests, gets these coaches coordinated, and couldn't do a better job, couldn't ask for a better producer, absolutely. Look for us on Facebook at Applebee's Tailgate Talk, and on Instagram or Twitter at Tailgate Talk AL. Visit us online at tailgatetalk.net to get scores and archives of past shows, and you can also vote on this week's Athlete of the Week poll and enter nominations for future polls as well. Let's find the links to download the PAS Plus app and for your Android or iOS devices. Follow the Tailgate Talk podcast on iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, Google, and other popular platforms. You can hear us on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus. You can call or text us during the show. Wish you would, man. Y'all join in. This is y'all's show, too. Text us at 256-812-1TGT or call or text us at 256-812-1848. Our calling guests come via the National Bank Hotline, Making Communities Great, and the special guest segment is sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing. So with all that said, we've got Jay going to the Alabama game and going to pull us through a victory. Tom will be on his way to Auburn later to, we'll say, good luck, Tom.
Safe travels.
Safe travels there and back. No, I'm teasing. Auburn. It's always better when Auburn's good and Alabama's good, and it finally gets to the Alabama-Auburn game. It just makes it that more exciting.
Yeah.
So to be truthfully told, so. I do want to mention this real quick. Applebee's is providing a disabled veterans fundraiser. It started October 9th. It goes through November 12th. And the way you can help is when you're here enjoying all these wonderful appetizers, food, and drinks, you can order a $2 blondie or brownie bites, and all the proceeds will be donated to help purchase a track chair or some device like that for all the very deserving disabled veterans. Each track chair costs about $15,000, and their goal is to raise about $100,000. So get out here, man. Order all this great food. Come watch some football games here. Order plenty of blondie and brownie bites, and help these most deserving veterans get these track chairs.
Yeah, last night at the James Clemens game, they had military appreciation night, and they inducted some or signed up some. What do you call it? They signed them up for the
applicants.
Yeah, they took them out there to midfield, and they had a ceremony where they.
Oh no.
Got some guys to sign up there for. I guess it was the Army. I'm
wow.
Sure it was.
Well, God bless them with the way the world's going on right now. Definitely support not just our veterans, but be praying for and support our military right now with all the conflicts that are going on around the world. God forbid we send any of them over there, but you never know, what'll happen and what might entail. So definitely be praying for not just the soldiers, the men and women serving, but their families as well, for sure. For sure.
Yep.
A lot of football last night, so I think I'm going to turn it over to Tim.
Well, you want to run down our guests?
We can do that. So our rundown for today's guests are AP Steadham, our ACC guru, Michael Parker, head coach Clements, who took a bad loss last night. Be talking to him about it. Clay Coleman, Havoc getting their first win on the road last night against Birmingham. Clayton Trutor, author of a couple of books that we'll be talking to him about. Chad McGehee, head coach of James Clemens, Clint Woodfin, head coach of East Limestone, and Oscar Bonds, head coach of Tanner. So looking forward to talking to all those guys.
Yeah. So now
it's time for
Scores and more.
All righty. Speaking of James Clemens, they got back on the winning track against Albertville. I think that's my drink there. Okay. I drank some out of it. Anyway, let's see. They got back on the winning track against Albertville, 58-18. And really, I don't know. Well, Albertville scored more than I thought they should have. But anyway, nevertheless, big win. And they will stay at the top of their region. So they have won the region, even though they've still got to play Grissom next week. But they had to win 2 out of the next 3 games before the loss to Austin last week. So they had to win 2 out of 3 to win the region. So it doesn't matter what anybody else does.
Right. Well, that's good. That's we'll have to ask him, but maybe he can remember some of his guys. You think? I don't know. No.
I don't know. I doubt.
A lot of coaches don't do that.
Yeah. Athens beat Columbia 49-14. Russellville defeated Ardmore 56-0. Central of Florence 48, West Limestone 21. East Limestone got their first win, and it was on homecoming night last night over West Point 24-17. Didn't look like they were going to pull it out there for a while, but they came back there toward the end. Tanner over Red Bay 46-14, and Colbert County 55, Clements 13. Calhoun volleyball team got another win. They defeated Southern Union yesterday too. So man,
they're rolling.
They are. So there you go. Well, next week we'll have Bobby Shuttleworth on. She's of course the daughter of Bob Shuttleworth. Clements, Calhoun basketball coach.
He was coach there when I was in school.
Yeah.
Years before that and years after that.
Yeah.
He was there a long time.
So hopefully we'll have her on next week. So there you go. Scores and more brought to you by P4 Physical Therapy, delivering world-class outpatient care with a purpose. Visit them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
Well, good deal, man. A lot of good games last night. Can't wait to talk to some of these coaches about it. I guess with that, we'll take us a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to our SEC guru, AP Steadham. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and hear it in crystal clear quality. Applebee's Tailgate Talk will be right back. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Elijah Goins from Athens Bible School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Ardmore Telephone Company has been operating right here in your community since the 1950s. Over the years, we've brought you advanced communication services such as telephone, high-speed internet, and security systems. And going forward, we'll be right here ready to provide you with innovative services and the high level of customer service you've come to expect. At Ardmore Telephone, our proof is the test of time, running decades deep. We're Ardmore Telephone, and we are here to stay. For more details, call 1-800-830-9946 or visit ardmore.net.
Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at WreakinHavoc.com.
This is Tyree Washington, 400-meter world champion in track and field, former NFL player, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
I'm all about that action. I'm all about that action. I'm all about that action. I said I'm all about that action.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're being joined now by our SEC guru, AP Steadham. AP, man, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, so glad to be on Applebee's Tailgate Talk, WKHC 1080 AM, Athens, Alabama.
Glad to have you as always, buddy. Tom Cat's down there with you running around. Will be. He's not down there yet, but he's on his way. So smack him in the back of the head for us and say "Roll Tide" to him when you see him, or if you see him. That's for sure. Yes. But big day today for a lot of teams. Obviously, third Saturday of October. Yes. Alabama, Tennessee. Alabama 11th, Tennessee 17th. Alabama 8.5-point favorite. I'm worried, man. The Tennessee front line is vicious. They're pretty good against the run. Their secondary, I keep on hearing is weak, but, our pass protection is not the best. So I don't know. What do you think, bud?
Yeah, I mean, they got those three good running backs. They could pound the ball. Alabama's usually good against the run, but they can have some lapses. We saw Tennessee, run the ball successfully last week. So, the quarterback, Joe Milton III, has not thrown particularly well, but we've seen it in the past. The quarterback can have the game of their life against Alabama.
Yeah.
They don't have the dynamic receivers that they've had in the past, but it's the Tennessee-Alabama game, so everybody's charged up, and Alabama's quarterback's getting better. The receivers are coming alive. The offensive line, we don't know, 31 sacks. I mean, I was checking that statistic in the last 7-8 years. I think 41 is the worst they've given up, but they're on their way to surpass that number.
Absolutely. Well before the end of the season at that rate.
So the kicking game. The kicking game, Alabama's got a good kicking game, but I always tell people, look, you can have a kicker that makes every one. It's that day, that moment. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what matters.
I read something last night for all the moaning I do about Jalen sometimes. He's completed 31 of 54 passes for 559 yards and 5 touchdowns with only 1 interception in his last 2 games.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. So,
great trend.
So if we can keep that going in that direction, then, should be no problem. But, it's Tennessee.
Yeah. If he throws an interception, the defense has to absorb that turnover. Hopefully it's not a pick six.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just part of his makeup at this time. He does throw an interception occasionally, but all quarterbacks do interceptions. I mean, I don't say that you lose a game because they threw an interception. All quarterbacks, I mean, they're trying to make the plays for their team, so occasionally they throw an interception. You have to live with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I went and got some gas back on Sunday and up in Fayetteville, and I pulled up there, got out of my car, and then another guy pulled up on the other side of the same pump. Well, I've got my Alabama sweatshirt on. He's got his Tennessee stuff on. And I said, well, it's that week. And he was like, yeah. And, he wasn't one of these obnoxious fans, We were, friendly and everything. And I said, well, good luck, just not too much.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No
He said, you have a good week and have a miserable Saturday.
That sounds about right. That's pretty friendly. That's pretty friendly.
That's the kind of interaction I like to have with him.
Well, I ran into a buddy of mine yesterday. He had on his Tennessee stuff, and all we kind of basically said to each other was, "Have a good weekend." We left it at that.
Right.
For sure.
No, Tennessee's got a good team. They have a good football team.
Yep. So you're at the Ole Miss Auburn game. Ole Miss 6.5-point favorite. Kind of surprised. And the total is 56, so they're expecting somebody to score some points. I don't know why I thought Ole Miss might be favored by a little bit more. I mean, because they can put the points on the board. I don't know. What do you think? You think Auburn's defense is going to be able to hold them a little bit?
They're coming off a bye, Ole Miss. Are they going to score 55 or are they going to score 10?
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the middle. But I think that it's important for Lane Kiffin. He went through this last year. What was it, 7-0? And had the total collapse.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to guard against those things if he can with his football team. They have a running back, Quinshon Judkins from Alabama. It's important to him, I'm sure. Auburn, the passing game is nil. I mean, Ole Miss's secondary, what is it, 110 or something like that in the country? But if you can't pass, what's the difference?
Yeah.
If you can't complete passes.
That's right.
I mean, are you going to be able to throw 30 yards down the field with success, a high rate of success? I haven't seen it from Auburn. I've seen an occasional pass, but Hugh Freeze usually has a good game plan, short passes. Let's see if we can run the ball. That's their hope, right? Maybe third in the conference rushing, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Second or third, and so they can. Yeah, run the football, complete the short passes, with accuracy, and keep the drive going and keep that high-powered offense on the sideline. That's the same story every week for Auburn. They can't compete scoring 35 points, that type of game. They have to keep it in the 20s maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to Alabama, but not football, a little basketball news. I don't know if you saw this or not, but just wanted to get your thoughts on it. I saw yesterday, I believe it was, where Brandon Miller was being charged for the wrongful death suit brought against the mother of Jamia Harris, the young lady that was shot and killed. Obviously he's the only one in that bunch that's got any money to pay to the family, but
that's right.
I mean,
that's right.
My thoughts were on it when I initially read it was, well, she might as well be suing me. I mean, he wasn't charged with anything. I mean, do you think there's going to be? Do you think it'd be possibly settled out of court? Surely.
Yeah, I think, as you said, possibility there's a settlement out of court. I think it was inevitable. At some point, he was going to be sued. From my standpoint, like I said initially, if my friend had a gun, he wanted his gun back, I'd give him his gun. I'm not asking questions. It's his gun. Yeah. Now, some people say, well, you should have asked your friend what was his intentions. I mean, was that established or was it not established? That'll all be settled in probably this suit, I guess. Yeah. But that's the way I feel about ownership of any item. Your friend asked for it. I'm giving it back to my friend. Yeah. You're hoping that your friend's not going to use it to injure people. I mean, no, I don't think that was anybody's intention. If I'm giving a gun back to somebody, me personally, I'm just speaking personally now. You're not. Yeah. If I knew that was going to happen, of course, you're saying, "No, I think I'll take it somewhere, and I'll see you in about a week. I'll give it back to you in a week or so."
Exactly. Yeah, obviously, I don't know Brandon Miller, but I just can't imagine him or anyone. Somebody come, hey man, bring me my gun. I'm fixing to, shoot somebody, and then say, sure, man, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yeah,
and then I'll see you at practice tomorrow. I don't think that was the scenario. I don't think. I'm not. No. Death is the ultimate. So. Yeah.
And then another story I wanted to ask you about was in Michigan. I guess can't stand out of their own way, but at Connor Stallions, an analyst or somebody there on Michigan football staff was suspended. The story came out that Michigan was stealing signs from the other opposing team. They suspended him with pay, so obviously, they're investigating that. But what are your thoughts on stealing signs? And, to me, I don't know. Is it a big deal? To me, it's not.
I would say I'd have to review the context. I mean, did he sneak into a stadium or something?
Yeah, well, true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. In other words, if I'm in the press box and I understand their signs, that's to my advantage. I can't help if I'm knowledgeable about their signs. Yeah. I mean, are you gonna take that away from me? I don't think so. You're just gonna communicate that to your other people. I mean, I don't know the context of everything, but stealing signs. I mean, that's as old as the old as anything. Football coaches, baseball coaches, basketball that knows it. I mean, they're going to use every advantage. That's the way it is.
I mean, I think I had read somewhere where they were sending people to games of future opponents.
I see.
That Michigan was playing and trying to get their signs that way, so they'd be.
I mean, that's legal, is it not?
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean,
what do you try to do it during the game?
I mean, that's been out there forever. You can send somebody ahead of time, and they can sit there and watch just the sideline and see what the signals are, and then see what the plays ran, and then because coaches aren't going to. You can't mix up your signs for every game. Obviously, kids will never be able to remember them. I don't know. I don't care for Jim Harbaugh much, and I certainly don't like Michigan football. But I just didn't think that was that big of an offense. But I don't know. I guess what
about bringing video or pictures back with you? I mean, you have these people accused of videoing practice, putting video in practice and stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't know how do you find that out?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they'll.
How did they find that out if somebody brought a video back to Michigan? Who would be telling them?
Put that crack investigating team the NCAA has on it, like the FBI, man. They'll
be
NCIS in it or whatever. I don't know.
NCIS, NCAA.
Yeah, there we go.
The new show. That's a new TV show.
Any other big games this weekend that you want to talk about? Did you see?
Well, the Penn State, Penn State, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Penn State's, good running backs, pretty good quarterback. 1-8 against Ohio State and Michigan for James Franklin. It means something to him. I can tell you that right now in his fan base.
Yeah.
So it's important. We know that Ohio State's quarterback has been spotty, but he has Marvin Harrison Jr. that erases a lot of mistakes if you get him the football.
He sure does.
Some of the running backs are hurt, I think. But I think that'll be similar to the Alabama-Tennessee game, probably in the 20s, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. You got USC and Utah. That'll be a bigger game this evening.
Yeah, that'll be a big game. Utah, run over USC. Who hasn't run over USC? I don't know if their quarterback Cam Rising. I had a chance to visit with him in July at the Pac-12 media day in Las Vegas, but he's had trouble getting healthy, and I don't know if he's going to be available. So, but USC took a blow. I mean, Notre Dame pounced on him, and I think they had 250 total yards or around that number, and scored 38.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's a lot of deficiencies when you have a team that gives up 250, but the other team scores 38 points, so you were just bad all over.
Yeah, they've up here on the TV. They've got Caleb Williams as being 22-1. Future partial team owner Caleb Williams.
What'd you think about that story?
22-1 to win the Heisman.
Did you see that, AP?
I didn't see that. What? So
Caleb Williams' father, I believe it was the one that kind of instigated it, or from what I understood. But whoever drafts him, part of the package is that he has to have partial ownership in whatever team drafts him, or he's not going.
Oh, that's a very nice thought. I don't think much about it though. I don't think any owners shaking in their boots.
No, and just for them to approach it that way, who would want? Yeah. I mean, if you're already going to do stuff like that, I don't even know if I want to fool you. Yeah,
I don't know if that was in jest or he was serious. But
they were serious from what I read.
That's beyond the level of arrogance that I don't know if I've seen.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if I've seen. We've seen a lot of arrogance in sports, right?
Yeah.
We've seen quite a few things in our lifetime, but
that's up there.
At that level, 21, 22 years old, I want part of the team.
Yeah.
I'll say, son, let's see if you can make the roster. How about that?
Yeah, let's one step at a time. Let's just see if you can get in here and run a play before we get you ownership. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
Yes. Yeah, that's incredible, especially at quarterback position. We've seen so many guys that were tremendous in college. Second, third year, people are trying to get rid of them.
Yep. Another big thing going on, not college football, but you got Tua versus Hurts tomorrow, Sunday.
That'll be fun, yeah.
That's going to be fun to see those guys competing against one another. Obviously, they're not playing against each other.
I wonder if Julio is going to be activated. Julio Jones.
That's a good question. I meant to look that up, and I forgot.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Julio and Devontae on the same team. The Heisman Trophy receiver from Alabama, one of the greatest receivers ever at Alabama. Julio Jones on the same team with an Alabama quarterback. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Just to have. I believe I read last week that Alabama has 56 players currently on rosters, not counting practice squad, I believe. That's just on NFL rosters.
Never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. No way, no how.
And especially at quarterback, the position. The quarterbacks that we have in the league.
The quarterback,
linebacker, running back, maybe, but quarterbacks. Never in my life would have thought. Years ago, we had a run of like your Namaths and your Stablers run through there, whatever, but not. We went a lot of years without having an NFL style type quarterback. So pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's awesome to see all those things. I think at one time there was probably Kenny and Joe and Richard Todd was there, and I think Scott Hunter, maybe all at the same time. I think they were there, 4 of them at once, I believe. At least 1 year, I think, all in the league.
Yeah, I forgot about Scott Hunter, but
right, Scott. Yeah,
man, tell us who you got coming up on your and Kelly show this week.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be at the Georgia-Florida game next weekend in Jacksonville.
Good for you.
So I'm looking for. So we'll probably get somebody to speak about that particular rivalry.
Okay.
So
well, good deal,
I haven't
man.
selected, but yeah, we had somebody speak about Ole Miss this week. So he was our guest this week. I met him actually at the SEC basketball media days in Birmingham. So that was our guest this past week.
Well, good deal, man. Well, tell everybody real quick where they can catch your show.
Oh, yeah, AP and Kelly, As We See It. It's on our Facebook page. Every episode is archived. We usually put it up there around Thursday at 1 p.m. Then I also identify the stations that it's on from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can catch it. I know it's on twice in Tuscaloosa, and it's on all over the state, in North Alabama, South Alabama, Southeast Alabama, Central Alabama. So you can catch it, and it's heard in 5 states, and it's recorded every week. It's an hour show, and we try to be interesting and entertaining.
Oh, well, it is. I highly recommend it for those who are listening. So definitely go check it out. So, but man, thanks again for joining us as always. Safe travels. Have a great time, and don't forget to tell Tom we said hi.
I will. I will.
Buddy.
Sure will.
Great talking with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That was AP Steadham, ACC Guru. Always appreciate his time and what he gives us. We're going to take us a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Michael Parker, Clements' head football coach. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
AP Steadham, Heisman Trophy voter, Maxwell Award voter, and Biletnikoff Award voter can be heard weekly on the AP and Kelly As We See It podcast on Anchor and Spotify. He can also be found on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back with more Applebee's Tailgate Talk after this. When you're looking for something special for your next event, why not bring in the most amazingly fine flavored shaved ice this side of the islands, Kona Ice of Decatur and Athens. Whether it's a school or major sporting event, a picnic, or a festival, Kona Ice brings the fun and laughter. From their steel drum music to their signature flavor wave, where guests can flavor their own shaved ice. No event is too big or too small. Kona Ice makes fundraising easy too. Call Kona Ice today and tell them what you have in mind. 256-566-5298. Or look for them on your favorite social media platform. Kona Ice of Decatur and Athens. 256-566-5298.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens. Your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling? Paint peeling off your walls? Shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed and insured. Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street, open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
Takes the snap. He's going to fake the pitch. He's at the 20, the 10. He's going to get a cover. Touchdown, Chase Clemens.
Be listening for James Clemens High School football this season as the Jets take on the best in Class 7A competition. You can hear every featured game streamed live online at PASnetwork.net on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, or on your PAS Plus app, and later on demand. You can also hear the replays at Sunday afternoons on WKAC Radio. Join us for exciting coverage of James Clemens Jets football this season from Play Action Sports.
This is Michael Dornay, former Big Out at the University of Alabama. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Roll Tide.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. The Bod, the Talent Tomlin, alongside producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. We're currently joined now by Clements head football coach Michael Parker. Coach, coming off a tough one last night, man. Kept up with it through the night and just hated it for y'all.
Well, I did too. I
know you did.
It just it boiled down to they come to play and we didn't, and they were more physical than us all night. They deserved to win, and we didn't. I mean, it's just it is what it is. And ain't nothing you say when you get hit in the face.
Yeah.
They sit back at me.
Was it one of those things where, I mean, do you think the kids maybe just kind of thought, man, we got it before they even started the game? Like, we got this one.
I don't necessarily think that. I think the physicality of the last 4 weeks of the teams that we played was not matched last night at all. So I think we've grown accustomed just out-athleting people and being bigger than some of the teams we played. But I told them all week that Carver County was going to be more physical than anybody we played for the last 4 weeks. And they were, they matched the physicality of Lauderdale County when they came over to us. And we don't take people with us in the mouth too well. We don't know how to respond. So, we just sat back and took it all night. So.
Well,
it is what it is. We got to regroup and get ready to come.
Colbert County always brings it.
They do.
They've always been a tough bunch. Yeah, they're hard-hitting, kind of smash mouth, I guess, more or less. Or through the years, that's what I've seen from them.
You watch film. I told my wife last week, watch them play Phil Campbell. They're not very physical. So they beat Phil Campbell 27-6. And watch them, play Colbert Heights. Not very physical, but now Deshler, they were physical all night long against Brooks. Physical, even against Mars Hill, they were physical. So I told her, I don't know what team's going to show up Friday night, but we found out.
You found out.
Yeah. Found out yeah.
The final was 55-13. What, did they jump on y'all quick? I didn't see the first quarter score.
Well, no. I think at the end of the first quarter it's 14-0. Okay. But they scored pretty quick in the second quarter. But had a great game plan against Jaden and the offense. I'll put it out there. I got out-coached all night. So it's just one of those things where I should have done a better job of preparing and should have done a better job during the game.
Well, did they hit you with some stuff you weren't expecting, like that you maybe not had seen?
No, not at all. We just didn't. On the offensive side of the ball, we didn't block very well at all. They pinned their ears back and come and got us. So, they were quicker off the ball than we were, and linebackers just flying to the football. So we didn't block them real well. Everything they did defensively, I fully expected them to do. Offensively, we knew they were going to run in between the tackles and try to be more physical than us, and they were. And, we made them work hard for their first touchdown. We had them in third and long situation, and they threw a pass, and Jaden went up and tipped it, and I think he was trying to pick it off, but he went up and it tipped off his fingernails and fell right in their hands for a first down. So we could have got off the field right there, right then, and still 0-0, but they got a first down there and drove it on down to score, and then they stopped us, and then the second time they had the ball, we picked it off. So we're still in the game here. But, you know, like I said a while ago, you know, what Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. That's what happened. That's what happened. So, you know, I'm not pulling any punches this morning. It wasn't just the kids. I got out-coached too. So.
Well, next week you're over at Phil Campbell. They're 3-5, 1-4 in the region. Last night's loss. What position does that put y'all in for the?
Because they beat Carver County last night, I think we got to beat them to be in.
Okay.
Calvert Heights.
Right.
So, I think the win puts us in at 4th. And according to what I saw last night, we'll be going to Gordo.
Yeah, I spoke with Jay last night, and that's what he said. So, not fun at all.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it may, if we were to go down and let Phil Campbell get us, you know, it may put us in a tie, and we may win the tiebreaker. I haven't researched it that deep yet.
Yeah.
So, just been dealing with a lot of stuff the past few weeks as far as getting ready for games and stuff. So I don't know about the playoff implications next Friday night. I know we win, we're in, but we go down there and lay an egg. You know, I don't know what that does to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Gordo not used to be 4A?
They did.
I think. Okay, that's because.
I think Coach Davis over at West Limestone played them a few years back.
Yeah, that's what made me. Yeah, that's what made me think about it because the station down there carried the game, and their announcers sat on the West Limestone side in the stands, and one of them engaged the West Limestone fans, and he was just made immediately sorry for doing that. I thought that was so funny.
I gave him grief.
Oh man.
Well, I think something had happened, maybe tornado or something down at Gordo, and they had to play in reform.
Yeah.
Pickens County.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's right.
I think they've got their stadium. I think they got a turf field now. So they redone everything.
Well, do you know much about Phil Campbell? Have you had an opportunity to even see what they bring?
Not a lot. I know I watched some film last week a little bit. I actually watched Carver County and Phil Campbell, and they was in a too tight wishbone look. But now I saw some last night where they'd spread it out a little bit too. So I'm gonna look at them and see, check numbers out and see if some injuries may have caused them to get out of the bone, or try to figure out what's going on. So
now a fan would say Elkmont beat Phil Campbell. You guys beat Elkmont. So
that's what a fan would say.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm using that fan logic.
Yeah. If it was only that easy, right, Coach?
Yeah, only that easy. Like I told you a while ago, Carver County beat Phil Campbell 27-6. So, and they smacked us around. So, we just got to regroup entirely. Coaches, football team, everything. We got to regroup Monday and get ready to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, I hope the kids don't, it's happened. You got beat. It's behind you. I hope they don't let that linger moving forward, and especially with Whitehall's on the table this coming Friday, and that they'll work hard in practice, take direction, and do what y'all are asking them to do. And, y'all go down there and get that win. You're in. And, regardless of where you may have to go. So.
Right. We got to overcome some aching and, hurts. I mean, we played all night last night. I'm telling you, it was a physical side that we hadn't seen in a while, and our kids played both ways last night. A lot of them did, and it was on physical on both sides of the ball. So we got some hurting kids this morning, probably some bruised up kids. So we got to take care of that and make sure that we're good to play next Friday night. Got to do whatever precautions we got to take.
Not that I'm trying to put it out there, but I heard Jaden kind of got rolled up on, maybe a little ankle tweak or something. Is he okay?
Yeah, he took a helmet to the knee.
Oh, okay.
bruised, but he was back in 3 plays later, so he's good to go.
He's good to go. Okay.
He's laying out there. I said, "What are you doing laying out there? Getting hurt?" He said, "Goes, me and Jesus was having a talk." He said, he said, "I had to get Jesus back in my life."
Oh man, that's awesome. God bless him.
Let's do your last senior spotlight here of the season.
Cole Dawes. Cole Dawes came to us last year from Ardmore. Didn't play football, but he came out this year, and he's been a trooper for us, been a team player. I started him off at quarterback, and then he got sick and had mono and was out 2 or 3 weeks there, and I had to go forward and putting Jaden back at quarterback. So when he came back, I told him, I can't afford right now to move Jaden and disrupt anything that we got going on. And he's like, "Coach, I'm fine with that. Put me a receiver. Put me somewhere."
Here we go.
So he's been playing a receiver for us. Caught a touchdown pass last night. So doing a real good job and exceptional teammate. He didn't take offense to me not putting him back there at quarterback. He showed he was a true teammate, and where else can I help at? So he's a trooper, man. He's a good one.
Good
Love him to death.
Well, good deal. Well, Coach, man, I hope you have a great week of practice. I hope the kids get their head, back screwed on straight and get ready for Phil Campbell, and y'all go down there and y'all bring home a win, man.
We will, man. We're going to get it back.
I
appreciate you guys what you do for us.
We appreciate you and those taking time to give us. So good luck, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. That was Coach Michael Parker, head coach of Clements football. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Clay Freak Daddy Coleman and get a little Havoc news. You're listening to WKC, the Big 1080.
Congratulations to Jocelyn Foxworthy of Clements, our Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week, and winner of a gift card from the Athens Applebee's, along with a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Go to tailgatetalk.net and enter your nominations for future polls. We'll be back with more Applebee's Tailgate Talk after this. While others have come and gone, the Lion's Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lion's Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lion's Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627.
This is First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Claire Holt from Athens Bible School, and I love First National Bank. They make it easy for me to balance school, work, and my social life. With convenient services like online banking, bill pay, and the mobile app, I can take care of my finances without having to worry. I can check my balance, transfer funds, and I was even able to deposit my paycheck from my phone. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate real easy. Want to howl with the Havoc this season? Now's your chance from Tailgate Talk and the Huntsville Havoc. Just go to tailgatetalk.net and register your name. Then listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk this Saturday morning at 10 on WKAC Radio as we announce the winners of Huntsville Havoc tickets. Howl with the Havoc this season from the Huntsville Havoc and Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Hello, I'm Andrew Smith, head baseball coach at Ardmore High School, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show.
So you're a control freak.
It's just a freak show anyway.
For the first time this year, Clay, Freak Daddy Coleman. Clay, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys. Doing good.
Morning, man.
Eating some breakfast off the Blackstone Grill, so I'm
nice.
Really good.
Man, didn't even invite us. Thanks a lot, dude.
I know if it was portable, I would go on the road with you.
Hey, we can bring the show to you. We can do it right there in your backyard. You can fire the Blackstone up, and we'll just do it right there.
Broadcast live from the Freak Daddy compound.
Yeah. Before we get into a little Havoc talk, I want to congratulate T-Bone last week for winning the IHOP pancake block belt. That was pretty cool, man, to see. I know it was coming off a loss, and that kind of stunk, but obviously he did his part because he was recognized for it. So he's having such a good year, and we're just proud of him here at Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Thank you, man. Yeah, they're doing good. He's an interesting kid in the sense I had to get him because when he won the belt, he was like, I don't want to win on a loss. And then he was like, and I don't want to win it next week against Albertville or next week against Grissom because we're supposed to beat them.
Yeah. All right, but you know what?
He almost didn't really win it.
But that's awesome, though. That's just his mentality. If he wants to win it, he wants to win it against the Spartans or Bob Jones or whoever the bigger teams are, Mountain Brooks, whoever, So,
yeah, and he's got competition. He's got we all kind of followed. We got T-Bone and Pork Chop, so he's got a friend of his, Micah Douglas, who's one of the tackles, and Micah had won back-to-back belts, and he defeated Micah and took the belt from Micah's locker, and then now he's hoping to win back-to-back this week too. So it's a good competition between good friends.
Heck
so
yeah, man! Makes it even more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, man. So.
But the Jets are doing good. They beat Albertville last night, which was, I guess, expected. That Albertville hadn't won all year and definitely got some struggles of their own. But I got to look through the math. I wish I'd have done it before we talked on the show, but I think they've locked up the region because Bob Jones lost to Austin last night and Sparkman lost to Florence. So I think that they could even lose to Grissom and be a 2-loss team and still win the region, but I'm not for sure. I have to look at the math. But.
Well, I was talking to Coach McGehee before the Austin game. He told me they had to win 2 out of the next 3, and they would be at the top of the region. So, they lost to Austin, but they won last night. So
it's just always horrible for these kids because it's like even if they go undefeated the first round, they got Hoover or Hewitt Trustful. So it's not an easy road to travel.
I know,
which I think they said. I think I've heard. I'm not for sure if it's going to happen next year, but I've heard that they're going to rotate and they'll move it around, and that may be like the North Alabama side will play like the Montgomery or the Mobile regions just to kind of mix it up, which may be good, just to get a little bit of parity. I know the travel is going to kind of stink a little bit with that, but
But you know what? The way it's been, I just soon have that road, less travel because, man, these Birmingham teams have been whooping us in North Alabama. It seems, from 1A to 7A for the last decade? I don't know, long time.
Yeah, I don't like I said, we played this year out of region or out of the whole division. We played Muscle Shoals and Mountain Brook, and and they're in Gardendale. I mean, there's some.
Oh yeah.
There's some good teams too. I mean, Muscle Shoals is unreal. They're a really good team. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the state.
Oh no, I wasn't surprised either. I mean, looking at them, sometimes you almost wonder. I mean, they couldn't, but I'm thinking, man, they could give you an A, or at least a good quarter and a half, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, they're stacked. Absolutely, they're stacked.
Well, you never know. I mean, Mars Hill got beat last night. So.
That's true. Mars Hill got beat, but that's what I like about James Clemens. You mentioned him playing the Mountain Brooks and the Gardendales and the teams they played over the years. Muscle Shoals out of area that's what makes you better. That's what prepares you for the playoffs. And
absolutely. And it hurt us last year.
It did, or didn't?
I mean, it did hurt us last year because when we got into that three-way tie with Bob Jones and Sparkman, it went to the out of conference play, and they played really practically nobody, and here we played Gardendale, Mountain Brook, and Muscle Shoals, and lost all.
Yeah, and that's when you wish they would look at the competition out of region, not just the record, but who are these teams playing.
Absolutely.
I mean, if that's the case, y'all
it cracks me up. You look at, Hoover's lost, the most games they've lost in a long time. They're still in the top 10 in the state. I mean, there was one time they were 2-5 and in the top 10, and you're like, okay, how is that? I mean, I get it. They're a good team, but does that mean that if somebody's undefeated? They're doing strength of schedule in some areas, but not in others. So it's really interesting. For sure.
It is interesting.
I think Max Preps.
I know we're here to talk about hockey. I know
we're here to talk about all of it.
Well, before we get into hockey, we mentioned Hoover. I think Max Preps had James Clemens matched up with Hoover the first week in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's really weird. They've got it on Max Preps. They have it down as November 3rd, but the game will actually be the 10th. But I think that's the way it lines up. It will be Hoover, so we'll get the Wade Waldrop rematch, I guess, that we'll get. I think the good thing is I think when he was at Florence the first time, James Clemens beat him, so I don't think he's beat James Clemens outside of and stuff. So maybe we got a little edge on him. We'll see.
Yeah. Now let's see. The first week of 7A playoffs, they get the first week off, or do they get the week off going into the Super 7?
James Clemens will have that November 3rd as a bye week, so they lined it up.
That's right. That's the regular season last week. That's right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I think that was just somebody made an error on Max Press, but yeah. So I mean, for us, I think it's a good. I mean, it's hopefully working out good. If having a little bit of a breather and playing, at Albertville and a Grissom and not playing the hard teams and then getting a week off, that may help. Sometimes people may, hey, you want to get a groove on and be playing and have some momentum. So I don't, it could go either way, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So, we're going to hockey. Big road win last night against Birmingham, 2-1.
Yes. Stuart Steffen's first win as a head coach. Yeah, that's good to get that one off his back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I haven't really been around the team that's much this year, but I mean, there's just a lot of changes all the way around, which is not a bad thing. It could be a good thing, but I mean, even in the front office, a lot of new staff people there, and Glenn. I talked to him the other day, and he's really doing a good job of just stepping away and letting Stu build his team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool thing. But I asked him, I said, so how long before you step in?
Yeah, that temptation.
Like, we'll get to that point.
Yeah, that temptation of, I'm sure, I really wish they were doing it this way or not that way or whatever. That would be rough. But it's cool that he's there in case they do want advice or his opinion, and so that's a plus. Absolutely. It was 1-0 at the end of the first last night, and then tied after the second period, and then Huntsville went on to win 2-1. I can never say his name right. Petazin, the goalie. Is that how you say his name?
I'm working on that one too. That's when I got to practice. I think we have the meet the team party on Wednesday night, so I'll have to get my chops ready and get transition into hockey language.
No kidding, but he had 43 saves. That's that's a night right there.
Good for him. And he's the latest signee, isn't he?
I believe so. He's definitely new. So. I
think of the guys that are on the team, you got Derek Pearl, you got Clark, you got Procopio, and then I literally just went blank. The fighter we got that knocked out the Peoria guy that all the Peoria fans were all mad about.
Yeah, they were all upset.
Other day, I can't remember. I've gone blank. I can't. We got a couple guys that are back, but there's a lot of new guys. So it'll be, I think for all of us that have been following over the years, it may be a little bit difficult. But I think like the average fan, they may know some of the players, one or two, but that's about it.
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna be a new experience for everybody.
As long as the hockey's good, I think they'll be fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. While I'm thinking about it, have you looked into your schedule? Is there going to be any conflict between James Clemens, you calling their games, and being at the Havoc? Is that, or have you even?
Yes,
looked
sir.
at that?
Actually, the next Friday, the playoff, November 10th, I'll have to miss a game. So,
which one are you missing?
November 10th is.
I mean, you missing the hockey, or you missing the football?
Oh no, I'm not missing James Clemens.
Okay.
I've kind of thrown down in all of my. It's kind of crazy. I just I hope that when I was doing a lot of these things where I was volunteering and doing the announcing, that eventually maybe it would encourage some people to step up, and that's not been the case. So, like I do Liberty football. 7th and 8th grade, I do Liberty basketball, and they've just asked me to do Liberty baseball, and I'm just like, guys, here's the deal. I'll be willing to do anything, but my priority will be my kids first, and then the Havoc, and then
whatever's left over.
Yeah. So,
well, you know what? When you're people like you and me that have such a high skill level, we're just in demand, dude. And it's just with you, that's the truth. With me, I'm just joking. But and Tim's sitting right here. He can call a Havoc game all night long. So you can just throw him.
I don't know about that.
He could throw them names right out there. He knows all the terminology and everything, man.
Whatever.
What throws people off in the arena? And you don't really know it, but there is a delay.
I'm sure. That'd be weird.
And that is in broadcasting, if anybody's ever done that, that is probably single-handedly the hardest thing to overcome. If you don't have earplugs or an in-ear, and when I'll have people that that come in and fill in for me at times, that's the number one thing. They're like, could you have not warned me? And I'm like, I told you.
Yeah.
But there's no way to let you know how bad it is. I mean, when I was doing sports talk out in Phoenix, Arizona, at the time it was Bank One ballpark. I think it's Chase Field now or whatever for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they have a stadium that the top can open up or it can close, and it can also be a mixture of both. They have panels on the stadium that can open up.
Cool.
Well, it creates the wildest acoustic thing, and I literally was doing something on the field, making some announcements for them one game, and as you would talk, and you'd say, ladies and gentlemen, then you'd start into your next sentence, and then you hear the ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, be so
it was
weird.
Oh, gosh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's the main thing with the Havoc. When I have people fill in, they do bad sometimes, and I hate it because every once in a while I need a break or,
Oh, yeah.
I'm in year 18 right now. I don't know how many years I'll continue doing it. We'll see. Yet to be determined, but it's hard. It's not as easy as some people think, but that's the hardest part to get over. But now I don't think about it now, but it was very difficult.
Yeah, we several years ago, back when I was singing, we sang the national anthem at a Huntsville Stars game, and it was a cappella. So we went to the ballpark, and because we knew there was going to be a delay, so we just kind of got used to what the delay was going to be like. So we just discovered if you just keep on singing, if you're singing loud enough, you don't hear that, so you can concentrate on what you're doing, and then of course whenever you get through, then you hear yourself finish.
That's so weird, yeah.
But
it's tough. And then you have people say, the ones that have done it before, they'll say, well, the key is don't listen to yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard, though.
That's easy, right? It's very difficult to not do.
And you would think with all the technology we have in the world that could be, fixed, but rectified somehow. But
that's like telling the callers not to listen into the radio.
Listen to the radio
on the phone.
They want to hear themselves, without a doubt.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, man, I'm excited to be back with you guys, and hopefully it'll be another great year. And it's just a lot of stuff going on. So, like I said, I actually did a TV interview the other day, and that was one thing they were talking about. And I'm glad that people are seeing it, and now it's taken a long time, but just Keith Jeffries and the way that the Havoc have done and put things together, and Glenn and the consistency of it. I mean, the Trash Pandas have done well, the soccer team, but it's like, if you think about it, I need to go back and look and do the research of how many years the Stars were in Huntsville, but I wonder how long are we now the longest standing sports franchise in North Alabama?
Oh, you know what? I've never thought of that, but you're right.
Be good. Put that on Tim. Tim, go do your research to see how many years the Huntsville Stars were in town. But I would love to see. But the consistency and the continuously putting out good product, caring about their fans, caring about the community is, in my opinion, second to none in this area for sure.
Yep, absolutely, man. Well, so real quick before we let you go, is this a 2 or 3 game series with Birmingham?
No, actually, we travel to Evansville. We're in Evansville now, so we'll play Evansville tonight.
So one game in Evansville. That's where I was born, Evansville, Indiana.
There you go. And, the crazy thing is one of our former trainers, Billy Welker, he was our equipment manager, for many, many years, and he retired, and then Coach Best at Evansville was like, hey, do you want to come work for me? So he's now the equipment manager for Evansville. Tonight I'm sure it'll be an interesting thing just to see Billy and get them together. It'll be kind of a weird, he was on the bench for a long, long time, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll be back home for Friday night. Will be our home opener, and we'll be back and enjoy some home hockey. I mean, opening night's always big. So
heck yeah.
See everybody there.
By the way, the Stars were in town for 30 years.
Oh.
Okay, so we got 10 more. All right.
I didn't realize I had no idea they were around that long. Wow. Okay. Well, good deal. Well, all right.
We'll get there. I don't see the Havoc going anywhere.
No,
we'll eventually get it.
Man, no. Well, buddy, man, thanks for always joining us. We're looking forward to next week, obviously. Have a great week. And until then, man, we'll talk to you, and you take care.
All right. See you later. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. That was Clay Freak Daddy Coleman, Huntsville Havoc. I always appreciate his time. We're going to take a quick break. When we do, we'll have author Dr. Clayton Trutor come and join us. And can't wait to hear and talk to him about his books. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Ardmore Telephone Company has been operating right here in your community since the 1950s. Over the years, we've brought you advanced communication services such as telephone, high-speed internet, and security systems. And going forward, we'll be right here ready to provide you with innovative services and the high level of customer service you've come to expect. At Ardmore Telephone, our proof is the test of time, running decades deep. We're Ardmore Telephone, and we are here to stay. For more details, call 1-800-830-9946 or visit ardmore.net.
Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
Second 11 from the 31. 2 receivers, right, 3 left. Back to throw. He throws across the middle. Touchdown!
Join us this football season for Limestone County football, streamed right to your computer or mobile device on the Play Action Sports app. You can also hear it on your Amazon Echo by saying, Alexa, open Play Action Sports. Listen for the replay of select games Sunday afternoons on WKAC and download each game from the archives anytime you want. Also available on all major podcast platforms and in the podcast section of the Play Action Sports app. Limestone County football from Play Action Sports.
Hey, this is Darius McIntyre, former wide receiver for the Auburn Tigers, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC. Todd, the Bod, the Talent, Tomerlin, alongside producer extraordinary Tim Lambert. And we're being joined now, and it's kind of an honor, by Dr. Clayton Trutor. We're going to talk to him today about a couple of books he's written. And Clayton, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Football Saturday.
Heck yeah, man. For us down here in the South, you know, it's the 3rd Saturday of October, so me and Tim are Alabama fans, and we've got Tennessee on the slate, so it's always a big, big day for us Alabama fans.
I grew up cheering for Alabama. I grew up in Vermont. We didn't have a real college football team that was our own. So every Saturday, my mom and I watched Alabama. I wrote a letter to Gene Stallings when I was 12 years old, and he wrote me back a personal letter about Jay Barker's chances as a pro quarterback. So Alabama's always been very near and dear to my heart.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and Gene's
is awesome.
Yeah, I started to say he's one of those coaches that are really approachable, because I mean I've had 2 or 3 interactions with him over the years, and he's just been like,
he is. Like, real quick story, Clayton, we've had him on our show a couple of times, and I do some autism advocacy, and I wanted to get him to sign some footballs so I could auction them off. And I got his phone number, and I called him, and I don't know what I was expecting. I guess a butler or somebody to answer. I don't know what. But anyway, he answers the phone. And gracious, signed them. You know, I've seen him, return address and all that stuff. And anyway, wonderful man. But we're here to talk about you today. So you hold, this is interesting, at least it is to me. So you hold a PhD in U.S. history from Boston College. And are you still teaching at Norwich University?
Yes, I teach at Norwich University, which is a small military college in northern Vermont.
Okay, awesome. And you teach history, is that right?
Yes, I teach U.S. history primarily to graduate students. I teach a wide range of time periods and subjects. My research tends to focus on history and its relationship to sports, as my 2 books have gone into.
Oh, that is phenomenal. My son, who's autistic, is a huge history buff. That's kind of his thing, his niche. And I was telling him about you last night, and he was like, I would probably like to meet that man. I said, yeah, you probably would. Y'all could probably talk history all day long. Unfortunately, his dad's dumb, so he didn't get to talk to me about smart stuff like that very often. But before we go into your new book, I want to talk about your first book, or I assume your first book, Loserville: How Professional Sports Remade Atlanta and How Atlanta Remade Professional Sports. First of all, congratulations. Won the 2023 Bell Award for Best Book on Georgia History, a Sports Collector's Digest Best Baseball Book of 2022, and Public Books Public Pick of 2022. So that's pretty phenomenal, man. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you very much. It was all a big surprise, and it's been a huge honor.
Well, I mean, and obviously well-deserved. I mean, the subject matter of it, going back to when the Hawks and the Flames and all the teams came into the South, the Falcons, and then how it was structured. I never would have thought to delve that deep into the effects of, how those sports franchises affected, the diversity around the area. Talk about it for a little bit.
Sure. The book started out, I just got curious about the history of sports franchise relocations and league expansions. I mean, I'd thought about there were teams moving here and there, but never really in a comprehensive manner. And when I was writing my dissertation in graduate school, I wanted to write broadly about the history of league expansions and franchise relocations. And my advisor wisely said, Clayton, that will take you 50 years. Pick a particular city to focus in on and make that your topic and use it as a way to talk more more broadly about the subject. And Atlanta was perfect for that. It's really the first true expansion city that went from 0 to 4 teams incredibly quickly. Atlanta had no pro sports franchises in 1965. By 1972, they have 2 brand new venues, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium and the Omni, and teams in all 4 of the major leagues. And it's really a story of just too much too soon. No city had really done this before, so it was really tough to know how it would turn out. But it's not like people in Atlanta weren't interested in sports already. There was obviously golf and college football and stock car racing and all kinds of other things people loved. Having 4 pro sports teams come in really, really quickly proved very difficult to digest. And it's eventually happened, but it took a lot longer than people anticipated. And many other cities that followed that same pattern, luring pro sports to town by offering public money to support them, have dealt with similar situations.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about how, like, the city, became like, the city itself of Atlanta became like a black majority, and then you kind of had, the wide exodus of folks moving out to the suburbs, and how that, not necessarily there was a divide there, but it was obviously a different dynamic, and how those sports teams were supported.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts there. Certainly, there's the aspect of the desegregation of Atlanta, and one major factor in that is simply the migration of people from rural parts of Georgia and the Southeast in general into the city of Atlanta. There was a significant housing crunch. There was also a tendency, particularly of the white working class of Atlanta, to leave the city as a result. I mean, certainly an ugly chapter in history. Yeah. There's also the aspect of lots of transplants moving to the Southeast because Atlanta was so full of jobs all of a sudden. It was the major market in the Southeast, the banking and industrial and transportation hub. So you had a lot of people moving in and moving out simultaneously in the same period. So it was a very chaotic time in Atlanta, and in some ways pro sports, the city leaders thought would serve as this kind of source of order, this common bond everyone would have. Ivan Allen, who was the mayor of Atlanta for the vast majority of the 1960s, talked about sports being this axis you could build around in the city. And it didn't exactly turn out that way for a lot of reasons I go into the book. So in many ways, there's a political story in the book, a cultural story, a social story, as well as a sports story. And I try to bring them together in the narrative.
Well, it's a great subject matter without a doubt. And the way that, I've never even thought about it, right? As a sports fan, you just, especially being in the South at the time, I was a lot younger, but you're just happy to get those teams, and Atlanta's relatively close to us. We're about 4 hours away, and at the time that those were our closest, major franchise sports, whether it be NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever, hockey, and football. But the way that teams are brought in nowadays, or franchises nowadays, they're still kind of using that same dynamic, aren't they, or structure?
Very much so. There's a public financing for it, but they've gotten a lot smarter about how they do it. Back when Atlanta was getting their first stadium, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, it was property taxes that paid for it. So grandma with her little house for property taxes went up to pay for a ballpark. Now cities tend to use means where they get people from out of town to pay for a big portion of the stadium. It's restaurant taxes. Yeah. It's taxes on rental cars. It's taxes on hotel rooms. So it's a very good way to sell it to the public that you're taxing somebody who's visiting rather than taxing the people themselves. Certainly there's still aspects of the communities, the people in the communities paying for it, but at least in terms of marketing these moves, cities have gotten better about it. And I think it's a significant improvement not having grandma's property taxes go up to pay for a stadium.
Yep, absolutely. Well, yeah, it's a wonderful read. I recommend, folks going out there and checking it out. I want to move on to your next book, Boston Ball, Rick Pitino, Jim Calhoun, Gary Williams, and the Forgotten Cradle of Basketball Coaches. Now, even though we're here in the South, Tim will tell you, and if the other guys are here, they'll tell you, even though we're here in football country, basketball is my love. I love basketball. To me, it's the best sport there is. And, you couldn't have wrote about, 3 better coaches. I mean, all of them in the Hall of Fame. Came through, smaller schools there around the Boston area. And, still, you got Rick Pitino still out there and doing it. Talk about first what intrigued you about even wanting to write about these guys and about this whole Boston trio.
If I hadn't gone to graduate school in Boston, I would have never thought of the book. in the wintertime, when I had time, I would go to all the different colleges there, their college games, whether it was Harvard or BC or BU or Northeastern. And by going to all these games, several games to each school each winter, it occurred to me that at roughly the same time period in the early 1980s, you had coaches with Jim Calhoun at Northeastern, Rick Pitino at BU, and Gary Williams at Boston College, who all were beginning their career in Boston at roughly the same time, and they all ended up in the Hall of Fame. When the pandemic got going and I was kind of sitting around looking for something to do, I started working on this project, realizing it's sort of an origin story for modern college basketball, both in terms of these 3 Hall of Fame coaches who win six national titles. They go to the Final Four 14 times collectively. They win like 2,400 collective games. There's that aspect. But also stylistically, much of what happened in college basketball in the last 30 or 35 years is a product of what those guys started to put in place in Boston at the same time. None of these schools were able to recruit the big men that dominated college basketball in the 70s and into the early 80s. It became increasingly the land of Bob Lanier and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton and guys like that who dominated college basketball. BC and BU and Northeastern weren't going to be able to recruit these guys. To be competitive in any national sense, they needed to find a new way to play. And all 3 of these teams played a very up-tempo style, crashing the boards, up-tempo offense, fast breaking, pressure defense. And by taking this new approach, which all of these coaches adapted at their future jobs, whether it's Calhoun at UConn or Gary Williams at Maryland or Rick Pitino at the half a dozen places he coached at, it ended up shaping the style of modern college basketball. And you look at the coaching trees all 3 of these guys developed. It's not just them and their success, but it ends up in many ways changing the tactical approach of college basketball in the late 20th and early 21st century.
That's a great point. I've never even thought about that. But those, they were right there at the forefront of revolutionizing the way the game was played. Because now, if you do recruit a 7-footer, it's not because you want them in the post. They're out there shooting threes or bringing the ball up the court. The game has changed so much. But the way, like I got to see Pitino and some of those Providence teams play in person, and was always, you looked out there and you were like, wow, man, these guys aren't freakish athletes, or they really weren't. But the way he coached them and the way that the game was structured, the way they coached it, man, it was just so much fun to watch, and they were really successful, all 3 of them. But I always followed Pitino. I don't know why. I just was enamored with him for whatever reason. He just, like you said, he was successful everywhere he went and brought that same system everywhere he went.
Yeah, and at Providence, he's just about the earliest adopter of the three-pointer because it's the 86-87 season it comes in, which is his second year at Providence, and he teaches Billy Donovan and Floyd Lewis and all those guys. You got to be working on the three-pointer. So they had to run laps in practice if they didn't shoot three-pointers in the preseason that year, and they ended up being the best three-point shooting team in the country and able to overcome teams that clearly had a lot more talent than them, particularly within the Big East. So Pitino's always been very willing to adapt to the circumstances of his time. I think another thing of interest is these 3 guys coaching in the 1980s. This is an era of remarkable transition in college basketball, with the conference shifting, just as dramatic as we're seeing now happening in that time period. The growth of the tournament to a 64 team bracket, as opposed to it being as few as 25 team tournament back in the mid 70s. The adoption of the 3-pointer, the adoption of the shot clock. This is a game very much in transition, and these guys are adapting on the fly to what's happening around them. Yeah,
and they were able to do it seemingly a lot sooner, maybe, or better, I guess, for lack of a better word, than a lot of coaches around the country, and that shows their success. But, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, the shot clock and then the three-pointer all coming together around there in the late 80s. When we played ball, we didn't have any of that in high school. It came out after I graduated. And it was, it took a while for a lot of coaches to adapt, especially to the three-pointer. They had to adapt to the shot clock. They had no choice. But for the three-pointer, a lot of coaches still, they did not want to do that or go down that road. And I can remember some of those Providence teams, like you said, yeah, they were able to shoot. I saw Billy Donovan play 2 or 3 times in college, and he was a good shooter himself, but that whole team could shoot. And I loved all 3 of their coaching styles. They're all different. like Gary Williams always, fire, right, man? Just like old school, and not in your face, but you know what I mean. Just like he'd get on them when they needed to get on them or whatever. Jim Calhoun kind of the same way. Have you met any of these guys? Were you able to interview any of them for the book?
I interviewed 2 of the 3. I wasn't able to interview Pitino. I think, for one thing, he got a little leery of the press as a result of some of the various things that have happened in recent years with him. And also, he was in the process of getting that St. John's job when I'm writing the book. Okay. I had a great conversation with Jim Calhoun. We chatted for 2 hours. Within 5 minutes of talking to him, it was like I was sitting with an old buddy at the VFW just having a beer or something. Just a great guy to talk to. And Gary Williams was great to talk to too. I mean, he's an intense guy, very much so, but he loosened up and we chatted for like an hour, and he was incredibly helpful talking to him too, and is a great guy as well.
That's
Love
awesome.
to talk to Pitino eventually, though, but
yeah, I hope you get that opportunity, and maybe he'll get wind of the book and read it and see the fair shake that he was given, and be more willing to maybe sit down with you in the future and maybe do some follow-up. I could see where, Jim Calhoun would always kind of give you that vibe, right? When you see him interviewed on TV, he just seems like this, regular old guy, and, just happens to be a wonderful, at what he does type kind of guy. But talk about just, well, you said you did talk to Coach Williams. What were some of his thoughts on, I'm trying to think back in the day, of course, you had North Carolina and NC State and all those good teams in the ACC. There was a lot of talent in that league. Did he ever feel like that he maybe had let a few wins get out of the way, or championships that he could have possibly won slip through his fingers, or did he ever go down that road?
I sort of think Gary Williams did as well as he possibly could at Maryland, in part because he just didn't play the AAU game in the same way a lot of those coaches did. He's like, I'm going to build it. There's a lot of good players in the D.C. area. I'm going to build around local guys. You look at that national title team he had, those were guys from Maryland and D.C. and Virginia. I think among the core of guys who played, the guy who was from furthest away was from like Newport News or something. I mean, this was a genuinely a local team he built at Maryland, and I think it's very impressive that he was able to build the team the right way and the way he thought a team should be built. One thing that was really remarkable talking to Gary Williams was his memory of the guys. He had these, I just go through a list of guys who played for him. He'd have very strong recollections of the personalities. He remembered what the guys majored in and stuff like this. Oh, wow. This is a guy who took great care in the lives of his players. I mean, this is a man who cares deeply about the people who are playing for him on his teams.
Yeah, and that's special. And that's what coaches, should do and do. I mean, when you're under them, they're a father figure, whatever, brother at some point, and a friend, and obviously an advisor and a mentor. But I always liked Coach Williams, and you're right. That conference was so strong back then when he coached, and really all three of them. But Coach Calhoun playing against all those Big East teams and having all the success he did. That was some really fun time for basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, how competitive that league was remarkable. That UConn had really been down for all of the early years of the Big East. Mm-hmm. They'd been a pretty good school in New England. They'd won the old Yankee Conference a bunch of times and gotten to the tournament. But in the early years of the Big East, they were among the lesser teams in the league. And Calhoun very quickly rebuilds that club. He's very good at, convincing guys who were overlooked by bigger schools to come there and to keep that chip on their shoulder. That you're going to remember that Syracuse and Georgetown didn't recruit you, and you're going to make them pay for it. I mean, that mentality is very clear, even back to his time at Northeastern, because he would talk about that when he was at Northeastern, that these other big schools didn't recruit you. We're going to show them that you can play basketball, and was a great motivator in that respect.
Yeah, he certainly was. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the players that came through there at his time, but having, like you bring up a good point, having to recruit against those other schools and convincing the best players that he could possibly get to come, and then turn them into the teams that he had, and then the program still had a lot of success even after he left because he built that program up so much. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I've never understood why Miami or the USCs of the world, all these schools that have summer year round, right? Like, who would want to go to Syracuse or the beach or anywhere on the East Coast and freeze your tail off in the winter when you could be by a swimming pool, in March or January as far as that goes? I've just always been enamored that these coaches are able to convince these kids to come to those schools, smaller schools in some sense. Did you ever see the documentary on ESPN about the Big East by chance?
Oh, loved it. I think I've watched every single 30 for 30. Yeah, the Wrestling for Peace is fantastic.
Yes. I couldn't think the name of it. Probably, to me, one of the best ones they ever did, by far. And
I agree completely.
And to see how they built that whole conference up, and of course, Calhoun was right there in the middle of it. And now, is Northeastern, is it in Boston?
Yeah, Northeastern's in the city of Boston. It's like a mile. There's a major street called Commonwealth Avenue, and BC and BU are both on it. BU is about a mile away from Northeastern, maybe 5 miles from Boston College. I mean, they're all within a subway ride. They're all actually on the same. It's called the Green Line, the same trolley line as each other. So they're all in very close proximity. BU and Northeastern were in the same league. It was called the ECAC North. Then it became the North Atlantic Conference. It's called America East now. The personnel of that conference has shifted quite a bit. It was kind of a mid-major in the early 80s because you had Northeastern and BU with Calhoun and Pitino as rivals in the conference. You also had Canisius and Niagara, which historically were very strong programs out of Buffalo. Both were frequently in the NIT when the NIT was a bigger deal. So you had a bunch of very good teams in that league. You had Siena, too, who had a couple of upsets in the NCAA tournament. So it was kind of like the Missouri Valley Conference was a few years back, I would say would be a parallel.
Okay. Now, is that conference still competing on Division I level, or what do they call it now?
It's America East. It's all those teams are largely in different conferences now. America East has been, in recent years, dominated by the University of Vermont. I mean, BU is not in it anymore. Northeastern's not in it, but it's a little bit weaker league. But they're still an automatic bid conference out of the Northeast.
Okay. Well, have you got any future projects in the works or thoughts of future projects?
Well, I do a lot of freelance writing on different kind of sports and music and movie related topics. I'm trying to work out an idea for a third book. I've been talking with my agent a little bit about that, trying to figure that out. But I hopefully another sports related book in a couple of years. And I mean, in many ways, because of the pandemic, it's how I was able to get this book out so quickly. There were a lot of guys sitting around, and I was able to, if you look in the back of the book at the list of interviews, in 3 months, I interviewed 95 guys or something like that, or 98 or something.
Ooh, it's a lot of work.
And it was all Zoom. It was phone calls and stuff like this. It was all, it was a pandemic book completely.
That is awesome. Well, so once again, I want to tell everybody your two books. It's Loserville, How Professional Sports Remade Atlanta, and How Atlanta Remade Professional Sports. And Boston Ball, Rick Pitino, Jim Calhoun, Gary Williams, and the Forgotten Cradle of Basketball Coaches. Tell everybody where they can go and purchase these books.
You can get both of those books on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. They're in some bookstores now. I mean, more so I would say in the Northeast, but those are sure bets. The Amazon price for Loserville is very good right now. In terms of Boston Ball, if you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/Boston Ball, all one word, and you use promo code 6AF23, you can save 40% off the cover price. That's a quick link to the publisher's website. bit.ly/Boston Ball, promo code 6AF23. You can save 40% off the cover price on Boston Ball. And I'm on social media. I'd love to hear from anybody. And if there's anybody out there in Alabama who has a publication, I have a feature story about Pat Sullivan I've been trying to find a home for 2 years. It's a deeply researched story, a very, very in-depth account of his career, and I'd love to find a home for it. So if you have a publication, find me, Clayton Trutor, on social media.
Absolutely. I found you on Twitter, or X, last night, and read through a lot of your stuff and followed you. You followed me back. Appreciate it. I'm definitely going to follow you from here on out. I even hit notifications. You're an interesting guy, and I look forward to anything that you may be doing in the future. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we let you go?
it's been a genuine pleasure, guys. Happy to come on and run my mouth anytime.
Well, man, we really appreciate you, and we'll definitely have you back on to go more in depth in some of this stuff because it's really interesting. You've done a phenomenal job. I'm definitely going to go out there and get the Boston Ball book as much as I love basketball. So appreciate your time, man. Good luck to you in the future, and take care.
Thank you both, and roll tide.
Roll tide. Thanks, buddy. That was Dr. Clayton Trutor joining us, and y'all go out and read those books, man. He's done a wonderful job, and we appreciate his time, no doubt. When we come back after this quick break, we'll have James Clemens head coach Jad McGehee, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street, open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
When you're looking for something special for your next event, why not bring in the most amazingly fine flavored shaved ice this side of the islands? Kona Ice of Decatur and Athens. Whether it's a school or major sporting event, a picnic, or festival, Kona Ice brings the fun and laughter. From their steel drum music to their signature flavor wave, where guests can flavor their own shaved ice. No event is too big or too small. Kona Ice makes fundraising easy too. Call Kona Ice today and tell them what you have in mind. 256-566-5298. Or look for them on your favorite social media platform. Kona Ice of Decatur in Athens. 256-566-5298. Tune in every Tuesday through Thursday this football season for the WKAC Coaches Shows. Join us as we get the scoop from Ardmore, Athens, Clements, East Limestone, Elkmont, James Clemens, Tanner, and West Limestone. The WKAC Coaches Shows on 1080 WKAC.
This is James Clemens girls basketball coach Monica Maxwell, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Todd DeBod and Talent Tomlin alongside Tim Lambert, producer extraordinaire. We're throwing a little curveball at you. I told you we were going to be talking to Coach Chad McGehee, but instead we're going to talk to Coach Clint Woodfin, head coach of East Limestone. Coach, congratulations on first victory last night, man. It's awesome.
Hey, appreciate it. Well, first off, did Chad stand y'all up?
Well, he's at a swim meet, so he didn't really stand us up. He told us we could call him back, so we'll see if he answers the phone. That's another thing.
I think that's him. That's him beeping in right now.
Well, hey, tell Chad I'm glad that he calls you back because he didn't call me back. So wear him out for that.
Okay.
Well, I have trouble getting a hold of him too. So.
Yeah. No, man.
Well, he calls me back every time, so we see where y'all stand in line. No, I'm saying.
That's exactly right.
Well, Coach, big victory last night, 24-17 over West Point, homecoming. So, wow, good for y'all, good for the kids, good for the fans.
Yeah, it was a good all around football game. We were tied up going in half, and they got on us in the third quarter, and we came back in the fourth quarter and able to put up two scores, and came away with the win. It was a really, really good. It was a hard fought win for us. Pleased with, and grateful for the fact that we had a fight claw to come back. West Point's got a good football team. They're better than what their record is, and so we came in and we had a good week this week and felt like we were prepared, and we saw what we were going to get. And man, our guys did a great job of doing their job and executing. Very, very pleased with the defense and the strides that they've made. Offensively, we were able to do some really good things, and then there were some things we shot ourselves in the foot on. And but in the fourth quarter, very pleased with just how we played and how we finished. Our guys never flinched, and was just very proud of how we finished that game and how we were able to come back. It was a great environment too. After the game was over with, obviously this was our first win of the year, and our student section comes running out, and there was confetti everywhere, and there's people everywhere. It was really a lot of fun. So I'm happy for our guys. I'm so glad they got that win, and it sets us up for Ardmore this Friday night and getting ready for them.
Yeah, as an East Limestone alum, I'm happy for you and the coaching staff, obviously the players and the fans, and proud of the fact that, like you just said, with the season they've had, they could have gone in that fourth quarter down and thought, oh man, not again, whatever, but they kept fighting and pulled out the victory. So now that they've got that taste for that first win, hopefully they're going to carry that on to Ardmore next week.
I think so. I think Ardmore's a big rival for us, and our guys, even in the locker room after the game, I told them, I said, look, I said, you guys have less than 12 hours to enjoy this, because we do our film session in the morning, or actually this morning. So our guys were back up here at 8 o'clock, and we watched the game film, and they were already last night talking about Ardmore. I mean, it wasn't, it was just, just 30 minutes after the game, and their mindset had already changed and already shifted, and so and that's good to hear. Mm-hmm. They can see what's coming up, and so I think our guys will be ready. We had one just tell his group last night and said, look guys, it's easy to go 0-10. I mean, it's easy to go ahead and pack up and call it a day, but man, our guys have fought tooth and nail. They continue to work to get better, and just very happy with their resilience and their grit. I mean, we've got a bunch of tough-minded kids, and they do not fold easy. And I'm proud to death to coach them, and just excited. And it was funny. We're sitting there, we're watching film, and it's very exciting to see the number of guys we have making plays that are juniors and sophomores. And we keep talking about that over and over again. Man, we got young guys that are on the field that are getting better, and man, the future looks really good. Just proud of I can't say enough. I'm just proud of our guys and how they fought and competed and got the win.
Man, that's exciting. And I love the fact, and I don't know, this might be more commonplace than I know, but I love the fact that y'all go up there early the next morning after the game while everything's still fresh and watch that film. I love that. That's
and we told our guys too. We don't ever watch film with our guys until we've watched it and we know what we're coaching on the film.
Right.
And I told our guys, I said, look, I said, y'all going to watch it just like how we watch it. So we bring our guys in, and we're going over the play 5 or 6 times, and we're sitting there, we're calling everything out, and we're looking at this, and we're having conversations as coaches like we would if the kids weren't in the room. And so for them to see it, and for them
that's real time,
It is. I mean, so you better have some thick skin, because you're going to get called out. There's going to be some things, and names being called. Hey, the guy didn't do his job, and so. But it's good for the guys to see it. We want to make sure we put Friday night to bed on Saturday, and that way Sunday our coaches come back up here and we get ready for the next week. So it's good for our kids to do that for sure.
Yeah, obviously Ardmore's coming off a pretty bad loss last night. I'd say pretty bad, 56-0. Against Russellville. So if you had time to spend much on them, look at them, see what they bring.
I'll be honest, I haven't. I've kept up with them through the year, but I haven't had a chance. I kind of follow the 24-hour rule as much as I can. As where you just come back and you enjoy the time, with whatever the results were on Friday night, but making sure you go back and watch that film and get the things fixed. And then, man, I'll spend some family time today, and then we'll get back after it on Sunday, and we'll start watching. I know for them, I know they'll be ready to go. Look, you throw records out the door on this one.
Oh, yeah.
So I know,
yeah.
I know Coach Sider will have his guys ready to go, and it'll be a fun environment, and I know for sure it'll be competitive.
Yeah, I started to say two teams with similar records. We went out and did. I think it was back in the COVID year. We did Elkmont and Haleyville, the last game of the season. Neither team had won a game all season long, but it was a good game. It was a competitive game, so it was a good game to watch. And so it didn't matter, how many games that neither one of. Well, it didn't matter that neither one of them had won. It was just a really good game to watch.
Absolutely.
Yep, and that's what's good about high school football. You can't throw the records out. And one thing I want to say too is I've always wondered this about and I've got tons of friends that are coaches. I've never really asked them, but, man, there's such a fine line, right? You're preaching there all the time, right? One game at a time. But as a coach, sometimes you can't really look at, like, you may have to, take a peek 2 games in advance, if you've got a team coming up that you have to prepare for that maybe do something different. How hard is that as a coach not to want to go ahead and look a little bit further ahead? I mean –
well, I think a lot of coaches do it different. We preach all the time 1-0, and it'll be the same message this week. We just want to go 1-0 on Friday night. But I think it's one of those things where you know the schedule going into the year, and you know who the opponents are who are going to be highly talented, or maybe it's always a tough game, and for us, especially just getting that first win, which is always the hardest. That, man, all of our eggs were in this basket right here. And, for us, it was one of those things where, we'll get to Ardmore when that time comes, but, we need to make sure that we focus everything versus West Point, and we've got T's crossed and I's dotted, and to make sure that we've got everything that we need for our kids to be prepared to go play. And and that's kind of what we've done throughout the year. I mean, we really don't really talk about next opponent or whatnot. We keep up with scores and whatever, right. And we have conversations with other coaches. Hey, how are they doing, or have you seen them play, or whatever else? But we do a really good job of making sure we stay focused on our opponent and making sure we do what we need to do to go win.
Yeah, we're talking about Coach McGehee. I know they as coaches try to prepare a week ahead. And I asked Coach Gross how he does it. And he's pretty much, like you. He takes it, a week at a time. But I always wondered if if there was a time that they called a play that they meant to call 2 weeks down the road.
I could get confusing in time of stress. Yeah.
No doubt. It's kind of like studying for a test. You kind of figure out what you need to prepare for the test and how much time you need to get everything in. And, for us, what works really well is Saturday watching Friday night's game, and then coming back on Sunday. We'll have our film graded by our guys. We'll have that sent out to all of our kids on Sunday. Even though we watched the film with them on Saturday, we'll have it graded individually for each kid by Sunday.
That's good.
And so that way, us as coaches will actually sit down and talk on Sunday about Friday night, go over things that maybe we could do different or adjustments or things like that. And then everything that we've got done is going to be ready to go on Sunday. Most of our coaches watch upcoming film on Saturday. So they have all their information ready to go by the time we meet on Sunday at 2:00. So we feel like our plan is pretty successful. We like it. It's efficient. We're comfortable with it. It's like I just tell our guys to say, hey man, the test is on Friday. We got to go ahead and start studying and prepare and make sure we know all the answers and all the issues and all the problems.
Yeah, I would tend to wait until the I walked in the classroom to study for my test. So.
The day of. yeah. Well, at least you did that much. I didn't even get that far. But, well, Coach, did you have anybody stand out last night? I mean, in particular?
Well, I gotta give a shout out to. Well, first off, let me talk about Roman Scrimsher for a second. He had a big touchdown, and I think would have changed the game on our second drive. I believe on our second drive he scored a 70-yard touchdown run, touchdown throw. And throw and catch, and we ended up getting a holding call. That was questionable at best, and so ends up bringing it back. And then in the fourth quarter, he had 2 big catches that got us in position to go score to tie it up. And of course, he doesn't come off the field. He plays everything that we've got. Did a great job as our punt returner. Made some great catches, a couple fair catches, a couple runs, and just had a big night overall. But man, the thing about him is he got a lacerated hand in the. I think first quarter, got his hand ripped across someone's face mask.
Wow.
And man had a gash on his hand. He looked like he came off the field, looked like he'd been in a horror movie. I mean, there was blood everywhere. And every time he came off the field or there was a break in the quarter or half, he's getting taped up and bandaged. And after the end of the game, he had to go get it stitched.
Wow.
That dude played the entire game with having blood coming out everywhere. And man, I told somebody last night, he's one of the toughest football players I've coached in 20-something years. So I just super proud of him. I mean, he gives it everything. He truly is the definition of a guy who leaves it on the field. But also want to give a shout out to Ty Moore, 79, one of our defensive linemen. He's a senior. We had West Point backed up to the 5, and they ran a screen. And Ty read the screen, and of course got the dream of any defensive lineman and got in. And came within one tackle from getting in the end zone.
Oh, man.
Man, our kids were excited. Of course, I see the interception. I'm thinking, Lord help me, we're about to get a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. we were doing whatever we could to control our side. So, man, we were super excited for him, man. The kids were loving that. And, of course, gave him a hard time for not getting in the end zone.
got to.
Yeah, super tickled for him, man. He's a senior who's gotten a little bit more playing time this year, and man, just super proud for him.
Oh, that's great. Well, Coach, man, hope you have a great week of practice. Hope y'all go over there and whip up on those Tigers of Ardmore next week. Certainly be rooting for you. At least I will be. Can't speak for the rest of the bunch. But anyway, take care. We'll make sure that Coach McGehee calls you back and gets in touch.
Yeah, just help me pick up the phone every once in a while when I call him.
I'll do it, buddy. Well, man, take care. Right. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. That was Coach Clint Woodfin, head coach of East Limestone Indians. We're going to take a break, and we'll flip a coin and find out who we're going to come back. Either Coach McGehee, maybe Oscar Bonds, maybe both. Who knows? But anyway, you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand. First to help with community events and fundraisers. First to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations. First to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events. And most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together. That's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, LLC, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily and Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clements sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hi, this is Terry Henley, former running back from the Auburn Tigers, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080. Currently being joined by head coach of the James Clemens Jets, Coach Chad McGehee. Coach, coming off a big win last night, 58-18 over Albertville. Congratulations, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Always makes Saturday a little easier.
I imagine so. Before I forget, Coach Clint Woodfin, he's Limestone's head football coach, said, man, just pick up the phone. Just call him. Just return a call, send a text, maybe send a letter, whatever. I don't know. He just said
he said he couldn't get you to answer the phone.
Yeah, there's only a select few I take phone calls from. So.
Oh, well, we feel honored then.
Yeah, well, I told him I never had a problem you returning my call, so I didn't know why you wouldn't return his. So I'm sure deep down he knows why. But I'm teasing.
Well, we're all pretty busy, and him included, with those young kids running around. So
yeah, he was just ragging you a little bit.
I know.
Hey, real quick question, and I don't expect you to even know this. I've been meaning to ask every coach that's been on. Have you ever heard of Galesville High School?
Yeah, I've heard of Galesville.
Yeah, so it is here around Alabama or in Alabama? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
it is.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, beautiful little school out there in the country. In fact, I think young lady I went to high school with, her husband is a head coach out there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty little area out there.
Well, here at Applebee's Tailgate Talk, we don't much care for Decatur heritage. Well, I won't say here at Applebee's Tailgate. Todd doesn't care for Decatur heritage, and Galesville got their first win, from what I understand, last night, 34-0 over Decatur heritage. Y'all need to schedule Decatur heritage. They need that kind of discipline in their lives.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to find some different teams to play this year.
Oh man, I'm teasing.
Pick us up.
Well, so big win last night. Obviously, if you win next week at Grissom, that seals the deal, right? Be number one seed in the region. Is that correct?
Yeah, we win next week, and we take home the region championship. So
okay,
we got a big week ahead of us this week.
They're coming off a loss last night to Florence, 31-7. So maybe the Falcons beat up on them a little bit for y'all and soften them up some even more.
Yeah, hopefully they are, but we'll play them on Thursday night, and I'm sure we'll get their best.
Milton Frank or where?
Yeah,
Milton Frank.
It's at Milton Frank.
Okay,
yeah.
Good deal. The kids like playing there. It's different. I mean, y'all used to playing in bigger stadiums, but it's still, I don't know, just different to me when I go to Milton Frank.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know that it really matters to them where we play. So, and then, that's the kind of approach we got to take. We got to go get this done no matter where we're at or what circumstances we're under.
Yeah. We'll talk about last night's game. What stood out to you? What maybe, that you saw that y'all need to work on before next week?
Yeah, I mean, started out really slow and wish we were a little bit more crisp from the get-go, and had 23-6 halftime lead. And we kicked field goal. We scored. We didn't score on one possession. So we didn't score on one possession because the receiver dropped a couple of balls there, and just not real focused. But came out in the second half and played pretty well, and pulled away.
Yeah, there was a play. Albertville snapped the ball over the quarterback's head there, and Frederick Poe, we thought he had a touchdown out of that.
Yeah, no, he just couldn't quite get it in over the line. So, that was the first play of the second half. It's kind of a bad way for them to start. And, but he fell on him at the 1 yard line. We went in and scored. So, and then just kind of pulled away and, tried to get some twos in there and 2s and 3s and get everybody in the game. And we got up, 30, and then, and they started throwing some balls over the top of these kids' heads. So, you got some guys that got to do better from that from a depth standpoint.
Is it one of those deals where, like the starters and your more experienced players, do you see them trying to hold those younger guys accountable when those plays happen? Not getting on them. I'm not saying that they scold them, but just encourage them to do better. And are you seeing that leadership from your players to their teammates?
No, I wish we had some more that did. And I think we approached that game where they just thought they were just going to breeze into that thing and be sitting after the first quarter, and and I had to end up playing the second half, and just not real focused, pretty lethargic, and so. But I wish we had some of those guys where they would grab some of the younger guys up and get them right, but. We're just going to keep working on it. We're a work in progress with that, and we're going to have to do better as we move forward. And, and we're going to play our best in a couple of weeks when we get in the first round of playoffs, because we'll have Hoover coming here, and we're going to have to play a lot better.
Yeah, no doubt. When those Southern teams start rolling in, it's a different story sometimes. But, going back to last night's game, sometimes, and I know it's human nature, and as a coaching staff, it's got to be hard when your players are looking at, Albertville's record and what they've done in the year. And like you said, you maybe feel like you've got it won before you even put on your, shoulder pads. And, I'm sure as a staff, sometimes it's hard to keep them motivated and still understand it is, anybody can be beat at any given time, guys. You've got to go out and do your job and do it the whole entire game. And it's always good to be able to put in those 2s or 3s, but you got to expect those 2s and 3s also to do what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it.
There's no doubt. And, the hard, it's hard for us because you just, you didn't want to show too much film because some of it just wasn't great film, and you don't want your kids thinking that way. And, and I think, but they're not stupid either. They look at the record and they see what's going on, but we came back out in the second half and did get to play some of those guys that and then some of the guys, it's kind of a wake up call. Like this is why, it's kind of why you're not getting any reps, and
there you go.
But. It's always good to be able to rest our guys, especially coming into the playoffs. And, hopefully we'll handle business this week and be focused in on closing this out, winning the region championship. And, and then we got a bye week and start getting ready for Havoc.
Yep. Well, Coach, we'll certainly be rooting for you. Go out there and get that victory, sure up that number 1 spot. And hope y'all have a great week of practice.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. Take care, buddy.
All right. Goodbye.
That was Coach Chad McGehee, head coach James Clemens Jets. We have come to the end of another wonderful show. Tim, thank you for a wonderful lineup as always. Can't wait till next week. And for those that are listening, everybody take care, stay safe. And like Tom says, what does he say, Tim? You can't, what? You know it. Tim can't remember either. That's what happens for us elderly people sometimes. But anyway, everybody have a great week. Stay safe. You have been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC, the Big 1080.
You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.